Okay, so welcome along this morning, girls, to our third lockdown session on batting today. Joined today with me as assistant coaches Emma Cowdrill and Provi Cowdrill. So morning to you ladies.
Morning. Good morning.
And the session is live with under 13 county girls. We've got the under 13 county girls with us this morning for our third session on batting. Those watching this on recording will be able to stop it at any time they wish to write things down or to look at and have a think about what we've been discussing. Girls, for you, hopefully you've got pen and paper ready. So if you haven't, quickly grab that. You will need that at times. And again, just be useful to write things down. I always find it helps sometimes when someone's going through something to write it down. It tends to help things stick in my mind as we go through. So do that as much as you can. And again, ask questions. If there's things you want to ask questions on, I will pause for opportunities to do that as well. So don't be shy. Just jump in when you can. So the session is on batting today. This is the what we're looking to cover throughout today's session. So we're going to go through a range of things. It is going to be a lot of me talking, a few videos, a few questions asked. I'm going to bring in Pia, Emma at different points as well, just so we can ensure, again, there's as much discussion around things as possible, and hopefully this will help you when we get back into cricket, which isn't too far away now. So that's what we're going to cover. We're going to go through a bit of the self-analysis in a minute from the bowling we did last time around. We're going to finish off with the self-analysis on batting, so you can think about that as we go through the sessions coming up and obviously into the season as well. And then we'll finish on touch on getting ready for cricket at the end of kind of the session. So hopefully some of you would have had an opportunity or had a go in the garden and maybe done a few basic bowling drills throughout the last few weeks. Those that haven't, absolutely fine, not a problem. Again, it's just getting yourselves ready really. As we get outside, the more you can do and have done before outside, the better. So just looking at that, this is for seam bowling. So a number of you obviously bowl seam. We have got one on spinners in the moment for on leg spin, so we can cover that again in a minute and look at that. But really, this is a case for you to look at each of these areas and just start to put down where you think you're at with your bowling. You know, in terms of speed, do you feel at the moment your bowling, bowling speed is really good, and you're really pleased with how you're progressing with that? Is that something you think you struggle with? So each of these points, bowling to left-handers, I don't think we probably all do enough of. That's something we've done in county training in past years, but again, it's something which we've not been able to practice over the winter. So it's just a good opportunity to reflect and have a look at where you're currently at with it. If you're not sure, again, don't worry, it's not an issue. But again, really good that we start to think about this within our games and think about our own self-reflections on where we're at, because whilst we as coaches will try and help you, when you're out in the middle, you're effectively you're on your own to a certain extent. We can't do a certain, we can only do a certain amount of things with you. So it's good for you to start thinking, okay, actually, do you know what? I'm really strong in this area. I feel confident, and I think, yeah, I can. If someone asked me to do that, I feel I would have a good opportunity, a good chance to actually be able to execute my skill. So just think about that. That's really for you to complete in your own time. And, you know, as I say, something for you to have a good go at. P, Emma, anything in particular? I'll move on to spin. Anything in particular from your end on this?
I don't think so on that particular one.
Probably bring you more on this one here, P, with leg spin. And this can be also been often as well. I put leg spin down really specifically for the county girls because we've got two leg spinners in our side with Eve and Lily. So I haven't included off spin on this presentation, but again, very similar. You can adjust it accordingly to off spin as well, really. The only thing probably it isn't in there is setting fields, and that's something which again is important to think about, and how you feel in regards to setting your own field for your bowling. Something we spoke about on the fielding session last time around.
I think the one thing I would say, ladies, is always try and take yourself out of your comfort zone in training. So you might think that you're, a right arm medium swing bowler, but you've got to, and you're comfortable and confident bowling against right-handers, but you've got to think outside the box, because it's never going to be as you expect it in a match. So the more you can practice doing things outside your comfort zone, the more confident you'll feel, because you don't want to get to a situation where we come to playing, for instance, Wales, and you're suddenly having to bowl in a situation that you're not comfortable with, and that's a lot of it's down to how much practice you put in. So it's not just county sessions. You're going to go back, you're going to be doing your club sessions. So if you're in a net, put yourself under pressure, think about things that you're not comfortable with or don't feel 100% confident with, and really work at those, not just the thing that your stock ball, the ball that you bowl all the time, that you feel most comfortable with. That's the one that's going to get you wickets, but it's thinking outside the box as well. Okay.
Brilliant, thanks, Emma. A really useful thing to remember there. So yeah, this is for the spinners, really. So again, nothing too different on that. I guess, like anything, there will be things you won't have done before. So bowling at the death, and I know, P, just bringing you on this is something you used to do quite a lot, didn't you, for Hampshire? I think with the women, you used to bowl quite a lot of the death in T20s, so which would have been new for you. And what did you, just to give the girls a bit of an insight, what did you sort of need to think about when you were bowling kind of at the death? What things were you doing differently?
I think I've always been quite lucky in that I actually quite enjoyed bowling at the death. When it kind of got down to that, and a lot of the seamers had already bowled their overs, especially in T20 when you only get 4 overs each. And I think I could always kind of see the situation unfolding. I could kind of see them catching up and getting closer and closer to our target. So especially when we were bowling second, I did used to bowl quite a lot of the 19th, 20th overs. And I think in a lot of those situations as well, just for the captains on the call, I also had captains that wanted me to bowl those overs. It wasn't like, oh, we've run out of bowlers, so I'm going to chuck P the ball and she's going to have to do it. It was, they kind of planned that in advance, because I think bowling a leg spinner at the death can kind of be counterintuitive for a lot of people. Because people have the vision of them going for a lot of runs, it's sort of, people don't expect you to bowl the leg spinner. So I think that kind of worked in our favour as well, just kind of the element of surprise, I guess. But I think it's just, you have to go in with confidence and believe that you can do it, because if you go in afraid, then you've kind of lost the over already. You have to go in thinking, yes, all right, I'm bowling at the death, let's go. Like, this is really exciting. It's one of the most exciting situations you're ever going to bowl in, to be honest, girls. So, and you have that responsibility, so own that responsibility and go, make sure you talk to your captain, and you have to have a clear plan. If you don't go in with the plan, then you might as well not bowl the over. Okay, so think about these situations in training and make sure think about, okay, if I'm in this situation, what am I going to do if they need 6 runs off the over? What am I going to do if they need 4 runs off the over? What am I going to do if they need 12 runs off the over? Okay, and think about your fields, and you have to make sure that you're bowling to your field, because if you set a field that's all offside up and then you bowl it outside off stump, a half volley outside off stump, that's going to go for runs, isn't it? Okay, so you've got to make sure that you have your boundary fields in the right place and make sure you're bowling to that plan, because that's so important, and that can win you the game. But if your field isn't set for where you're bowling, or you don't nail that ball where you want it, then unfortunately that's game over. So again, like my mum said, just really important to think in training. So when you go into a game and you're in that situation, you don't have to suddenly come up with a plan on the fly. You already have it set in your mind.
Brilliant. Thanks, Pete. Really, really useful bit of advice there. I think that's something we see when we get back out into cricket. We will be trying to do as much with you in the short period of time we have. See, we've got a lot less time than we would normally have over the winter. But I think what we're going to try and do is to try and put you in some pressure situations and try and think about, you know, that there's only the technical side of things is going to be difficult to change, because that's something we normally work, you know, it's all normally done way before anywhere near close to the season, because we don't want to be changing techniques significantly. So we'll be trying to put a lot of pressure situations in and trying to help you to think about and cope with those situations as you get into games. So really kind of important for us to get thinking with that. Okay, so I know that was, again, that was a lot, a bit of bowling, but I think it was important to reflect upon our obviously last session about what we hopefully are starting to think about with our own games. So batting is what we're looking at today. Got some sort of videos again. I'm just going to play and similar sort of theme a little bit to last week. That I want you to watch this, ladies, and I want you to start to write down, you know, what makes a good batter. You know, what does good batting look like? So when you watch these clips, what are the things which spring to mind? What are they doing well? You know, what are they? You know, why is the execution particularly good? You know, what are the types of things they're putting together? So just write down what you can, and as I say, we'll come to it at the end, and I'll ask you some questions. You won't be able to hear the sound on this, so you'll just have to again watch the video and just have a look and see what you think. So here we go. Brilliant. So there we go. So just some clips there. A lot of England there, a lot of England players from a few years back to obviously modern day as well. So lots of different clips there. Just going to come out of this again a little bit, end of the show quickly there, just so I can do a bit of writing as well. So girls, I'm going to ask you some questions there, and just want you to, well, just want you to tell me what you think. What, from looking at those clips, what did you notice, and what was really good about it? So I'm not going to pick on people, because I know that's it's something we never like to happen when people pick on you to ask questions. But anyone want to give me any suggestions on anything which looked good?
They had a full backswing, so they got maximum power.
Brilliant, excellent, Eve. Yeah, full backswing. So again, bat came back through in a straight line, as you say. You know, coordinated movement, nice big backswing through in a straight line through the ball. So yeah, provided lots of power into the shot. So yeah, fantastic. Full backswing, allowed maximum power. Great start. Okay, anyone else?
They hit the ball really hard because their bat came through the ball really well. It's straight bat.
Through straight, brilliant. Yeah, and we'll touch upon that later on with regards to that. A real important thing. Bat comes through straight. Doesn't come through an arc. You know, the bat is, hands are quite close to the body, goes back, comes through in a straight line, so which aids that. Brilliant. Well done, Pippa.
They kept their head level.
Brilliant. So head still. Watch the ball. So yeah, head still and watch the ball. Really important. And that's probably one of the key things of batting is our head position, isn't it? So yeah, well done. Really good one, that.
They had a strong base, especially when they hit over the top.
Fantastic. Strong base. What do you mean by strong base? What would you say a strong base is?
So sturdy, they're not wobbling about, and their legs are far apart, but not too far apart.
Fantastic. Yeah. So strong base. Yeah. Stable. Again, comes down a little bit with the head position as well. If your head is over the ball, that helps with your stable base. A strong base, stable. Okay, not falling over. Look at that. Fantastic. Really good one, that. Excellent.
You want to be confident, so you want to try and make the bowlers feel that they've lost control of the game.
Brilliant. Yeah. So positive intent. Okay, good one, that. Again, looking to score run, they're being positive, confident. And I think, again, we'll no doubt touch upon that with batting. It is very much a confidence thing. You know, if we're confident, we're feeling good about ourselves and feeling good about our game, then the outcome normally, normally would be pretty good. 9 times out of 10, if we are, confident with our own games and with how we're playing. So yeah, real positive intent to take it to the opposition. Fantastic. Any more?
They were always ready for the ball.
Always ready for the ball. Yeah. So very much so. So again, yeah. For delivery, again, watching, head in the position still, watching it, ready, but also ready to move as well. So I think that's a real key thing, again, is with our movements, making sure we've got quick, decisive movements, so we're moving into the ball. So you're ready all the way, and you're looking, the ball coming out the bowler's hand, you're ready to move either forwards off the front foot or onto the back foot with that. So yeah, really good. Well done.
On that, they knew their field, so they could find the gaps quite easily.
Fantastic point.
They were aware
of it. Absolutely brilliant. So we talk a lot about this with batting, about the fielders, and you'll hear sometimes commentary, you watch a TV, or the batters are regularly hitting the fielders here. It's a real skill to be able to play a shot and play it into the gap. So looking for the gap. So I think aware, as you said, aware of the gaps in the field to be able to score runs, which I know sounds so obvious, but when you're batting, sometimes you just hit the ball and I've hit the fielder again. So it's just having that awareness. Okay, well, how can I hit that ball slightly to the fielder's right so it's into the gap? Can I use soft hands to run a single because the fielder's a bit deeper, for example? So again, aware of the gaps in the field and how you can score runs. Really important. Fantastic point. Well done.
I know that most of those shots were boundaries, but you have to run between the wickets quickly to enable you to score quick runs.
Absolutely, yeah. So a lot of those clips, as you say, were off the front foot, hitting the ball down the ground. Something we'll touch upon in a minute in terms of the focus areas we've been identified and are looking at. So you're right, very much rotating the strike. But again, massively important. Yeah, those are boundaries, but actually what will win you matches is how you run between the wickets. And those of you that have been involved in the county last year, I think we'll all recognise, actually, I think we ran pretty well as a team, and we did keep that scoreboard ticking over, which meant we were putting pressure on the opposition at as much as possible. So really important part of that. So yeah, good stuff.
they have really quick hands when they go through the ball. So even if they don't time it perfectly, they're still managing to get runs.
Yeah, quick hands is a really good one. I'm not sure whether anyone watched the men's game yesterday, and in particular Josh Butler, who was batting at the top of the innings for England. He's got, well, one of the fastest hands probably in world cricket. His hands are superb. You know, he gets his hands through the ball so quickly, which helps generate power and helps generate speed into the ball. So quick hands is really important, and it doesn't happen overnight, girls. This would be something which, you know, it does require a lot of practice. But getting your hands through the ball really does help, yeah, in terms of creating that power, definitely. Do we need to have power? So when we talk about power and we talk about, yeah, our bat coming through in you know, straight line and getting lots of momentum, is it all about swinging the bat as hard as we can, or can we hit the ball just as hard? If you're not, you know, do you have to be the strongest person in the world, I guess what I'm saying, to hit the ball hard, do you think?
No, so if the bowler, if the ball is going quickly, you just use the pace of the ball.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Yeah, so a lot of it, you know, again, a lot of you hear about timing. And actually, if you can, if it's a quick bowler, you know, if you can get yourself in the right position. So we talked about strong, stable base, our heads, you know, towards the ball, our weight going in the direction where the ball's coming from. And as you say, just leaning and getting our weight into the ball. You know, you talk here a lot about timing. Literally, the ball will come off the bat nice and quickly. And if we just, everything is in a coordinated and smooth fashion, again, you can time the ball, hit the ball just as hard, just through being in a stable position and using the pace of the ball, with everything going in the right direction towards where the ball's coming from. So really, really good point on timing. Perfect. I think we've got quite a few points there. Some really, really good areas there, and things which certainly you've covered more than I certainly thought you would. So that's really good. I'm going to bring you in on this one, on P, just from you. Is there anything on there which you think is particularly important, or even anything on there which you think perhaps has been missed off at all?
Just to say quickly, Emma wrote in the chat to play their shots confidently as well.
Fantastic.
So
brilliant. Thank you,
Emma.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I'll put that in there. Thank you for that. So yeah, anything else, P, from you? Any of those really stick out as being particularly important, or anything which has been missed off?
Again, I'm going to keep banging on about it. Having a clear plan for each of the bowlers, so you don't go in there and kind of just trying to smack one bowler out the park when actually there's a bowler at the other end that's really struggling. Just make sure you're targeting the right bowlers, and targeting, it comes back to your self-analysis, making sure that you're attacking the right bowlers for your strengths. So if you're not a very good player of spin and you're coming down the wicket and trying to smack the spinner back over the head for 6, we're probably going to question your motives. Okay, so just, yeah, make sure you have a plan for what you're doing. If you can explain what you're doing, then great, we're not going to question it, but just make sure you can. Okay, and yeah, set targets as well, and talk to your partner, because there's 2 of you out there. You're never just batting by yourself. We don't do last man stands anymore, so just talk to your partner. You're out there with a friend, hopefully, but with a teammate, and you set those targets together. It's not all on you. There's a person down the other end as well that has to take responsibility. Okay, so just use your partner, talk through, ask them what they're comfortable with, what are your strengths, which bowler do you like facing? I like facing the other bowler, so maybe you target that bowler and I'll target this bowler. Or we're really struggling here, let's drop and run quickly and just try and rotate the strike and get some runs on the board. Okay, so important to have those conversations and not just kind of meet in the middle and go, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. Oh, nice weather today, isn't it? Okay, see ya, let's off to the next over. Okay, don't make it like that, please, because because I had some of those conversations at under 13 and it wasn't helpful at all. Okay, so just have those conversations now, and then when you get up the age groups, it becomes so much more natural. Okay. Other than that, I think we pretty much covered everything. Loud calls as well comes into rotating the strike. Positive intent. Your body language is so important when you're batting. Not if you're kind of like this. I was like this a lot of times at under 13, and I kind of dug myself into a hole a little bit. Okay, you've got to shoulders back. Let's chin up. Let's walk out there like you mean it, because otherwise the fielder's going to be looking at you like, oh, she doesn't want to bat. We've got an easy wicket here. Okay, so even if you're not confident, fake confidence. Okay, you've got to fake confidence. You've got to pretend like you're the most confident batter in the world, even if you're not inside. Okay. Other than that, yeah, I think that's just on the quick hands. Like we said with Joss Butler, it's really good having quick hands, but all those other fundamentals he has before he got those quick hands. Okay, so you can't just have quick hands and your head be over here and you be on one leg trying to hit the ball. Okay, you've got to have a strong base. You've got to have your head in the right position. You've got to have your weight into the ball before you can do those quick hands. Okay, that's the quick hands is kind of the last bit to complete the shot. It's not the first bit that you have, and then everything else is kind of falling all over. Okay, other than that, that's really good.
Fantastic. Okay, well done, girls. Really good, really good. That really impressive with what you come up with.
Can I just add something very quickly, Mike?
Of course you can, yeah.
Just to say that no matter what number you bat, you are still part of the batting team, the batting lineup. So it really doesn't matter if you're opening or if you're a tail ender. You're still part of the team and you still have a really crucial job to do. So don't just come in at the tail and throw your bat, because those runs could be crucial. So it's really important to recognise that it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's a team sport, and that's really, really important.
Fantastic. Thanks, Emma. That's a really, really important point, and yeah, something which I think we don't talk enough about. And I think everyone listening on this call and everyone here, girls, there will be times where you will be batting low down in the order. You know, there will be, you're not going to be batting top 7, every week. It's going to be times where you're batting down the order, but that doesn't mean you haven't got a role. So yeah, really good point, Emma. And we will work with you and we'll try and give you help and obviously give you some areas in which when you go into bat, what we're looking for you to do. But yeah, you are just as important. You are a team. Not one person is more important than anyone else on that side. Okay, so yeah, do remember that. Okay, go back onto the actual screen now, back onto the slideshow. So these are kind of the batting principles, some of the stuff we've just really talked about really through those points. We've talked about that balanced and comfortable position. So your setup, and everyone's setup will be slightly different. And you watch it on TV, someone such as, I'm just thinking from again, what comes to mind in terms of weird techniques. And I can think of, there's all sorts of things, and certainly springing to mind from the men's game with different stance, and equally with the women's game as well. So I think having a balanced position, there's no right or wrong. It's having a position which works for you and allows you to move to the ball quickly and effectively. So a lot of people talk about having your feet shoulder width apart. Again, some people have a slightly open stance, and what I mean by that is your front foot is behind the back foot, so slightly open. So again, everyone have different ways of doing it, but the main thing is ensuring you feel balanced and feel comfortable, and that your setup is a massive part of that. The head position we've talked about a little bit is, in my view, is one of the most important things. Back in when I was growing up, it always used to be about having your foot close to the ball, and I was a lot of coaching around that. And now really you'll see the game's evolved so much, that the front foot comes out of the way and allows people to get power and get the hands through the ball. you know, so it isn't all about the front foot being close to the ball, but the head position is vitally important. And if your head is towards the ball, that will help with control, that will help with your weight position, help with your balance, and ensure that you're in control when playing the shot. So your head position is vitally important. Coordinated body movements. What it means by that, and a lot of things, again, we're looking at is certainly with the back lift. As you move and you step forwards, you know, we see a lot of things with girls and boys with where the bat actually doesn't go up. So as you step forwards, the bat lift either stays where it is or goes downwards. So it's just ensuring that that bat is going up as you step forwards. So your hands are going up, which means you're getting more of a flow, more of a rhythm with your batting, and allowing more sort of power as we go through. And presenting the full pace of the bat. Again, the bat is only a certain amount of wide. The more the bat you can use, the better. If you're using half the bat, you know, by it's twisting in your hands, and obviously that's going to mean you've got less of the bat to use and to hit the ball with. So full face of the bat is really, really important. Emma, I'm just going to ask you, there's a few, I've seen some comments in the chat coming in, so I don't know whether you could just look at those.
No, it's fine. Eliza's struggling with her broadband signal, so it's fine. We're just having a chat and reassuring her. So
okay, thank you. It is recorded as well, girls, so you'll be able to watch this back if there are bits you're missing out on to look at. So those are some of the things, girls. I just felt it was useful just to go through that really, and just focus on some of the key things of sort of batting really. And that follows nicely into this next bit, which you all have seen hopefully in your packs, for again with county and RPC. These are some of the things we would have been focusing on over the winter, and then obviously looking quite a bit at that, hitting down the ground. Again, looking at that first clip, a lot of it was around playing in the V. So what I mean by the V for those is really again through hitting through kind of your mid-ons, mid-offs, hitting straight down the ground. And this is something, again, we focus a lot on, and the coaches within the performance pathway, we talk a lot about this and working on that area because it's a really important part of the game, hitting straight. So a lot of work would have been hitting straight down the ground, and that's something we'll certainly look at and touch upon in the sessions we have coming up before we start, obviously, the matches. Reverse and orthodox sweeps. Again, those of you that watch women's cricket, the sweep shot is a huge shot within the women's game. It's a shot which you'll see played quite a lot, both with orthodox and the reverse sweep. A lot of spinners, a lot of slower bowlers involved in the women's game, and it's being able to hit 360. You know, hitting all around the ground, not just straight down the ground is certainly something which we're really focusing on and really encouraging, but equally being able to hit the ball square of the wicket, behind square, you know, again, maneuver the fields, make sure, create gaps for yourself is really important. So you'll see the top players being able to do that. And that's something which, again, you know, you're all young, and again, this was nothing, something when I was growing up wasn't something I did a great deal of in regards to reverse sweeps, and you know, so it's something I kind of, I guess, had to learn from in my personal game. You know, the sweep is something it's something I've learned to play quite a bit over the last few years, and it's something which will score you a lot of runs if executed properly. So really important one there. And then judging length is another kind of key one really. Being able to play off both the front and the back foot, you know, and ensuring your head is forward at all times. Whether you're playing a front foot drive or whether you're playing off the back foot, your head should still always be forwards, because otherwise you're just going to pop the ball up in the air and you're going to get caught. So it's just thinking about that all the time. On that, Pierre, we're just going to bring you in on that again as well, really. Again, you've been through this as a under 13 and through the age groups. Judging length is something, you know, we get asked about all the time. They're not sure whether to play off the front foot or the back foot. How did you find that when you were kind of at that age, and how did you, I guess, how did you get to grips with it? How long did it take you to get to grips with it, I suppose?
I'll probably still say you're still getting to grips with it when you're my age. I don't want that to be demotivating, to use that there. But at the start of each winter, we're still doing drills like that. Maybe not so regressed that you're kind of catching a tennis ball, but you're still going back to drills on judging length. It's something we struggled with at times last season. The Vipers did, because when you get to this age, you're kind of starting to play on better pitches, so you can afford to go on the back foot and not worry that the ball's going to roll along the ground. But it's definitely something that you need to get in a good habit with early. I mean, I think you've probably all done the drills that we do, with the getting the ball thrown at you and you catch the ball rather than hit it to start with, and you go forward to ones that you think of you should go forward to and back. With the Vipers, we kind of did it slightly differently. We did have people throwing at us, both with a sidearm and throwing spin, but we still put marks on the ground and that mark will move, girls, depending on how tall you are, how big a stride you get into the ball, whether you're a front foot player or a back foot player. The marks will move, so the box will move. The balls that you go forward to will be different for each player. It's not a kind of one size fits all. So me and Maya Bouchier tend to get a big stride into the ball because we like going on the front foot, whereas Charlie Dean, for example, likes going on the back foot, so hers might be a bit closer. So yeah, just make sure those marks are on the ground, and then it's basically just practice, unfortunately. I wish I could tell you there was a magic thing that you could do and you would nail it, but it really is just practice and just hitting balls and just getting used to the areas that you feel comfortable going forward and back to, because once you can kind of visualize those areas on the pitch, you can do it at higher and higher speeds, and then once it's a bowler bowling at you, you can do it easily like the international players do. But saying that, international players still get out, don't they? So they still make mistakes in judging length, so it's not going to be something that you suddenly nail and that's it for the rest of your career. You're going to have to keep working on it like every batter does.
Brilliant. Good points. Now I think we'll probably touch upon the length bit again in a minute. I've got something else. Maybe I'll come back to you on that, P, as well, with regards to kind of judging length and shot selection. We'll come on to that in a minute, really. I guess, Emma, I might bring you in just on the batting keywords now. I might bring you in this area. Just again, give your sort of thoughts on some of those. So aggressive, fearless, smart. Don't know whether you want to just give us your sort of thoughts on that, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know, when I've coached in the past, when we've been talking to the under-13s over the winter, one of the things I do try and impress on you is that, you know, as you've already said, body language is really important. And if you drag your bat out, look as if you don't want to go out to bat, and you get out to the middle and you look as if you don't know what shots to play, and you're defending a lot, then actually, you know, the bowlers are going to have the upper hand, and they're going to take advantage of you, and they'll bring the field in, and it will become there'll be a bit of chat, and it will become quite a difficult place to bat. So you need to be positive in everything that you do. You might not feel positive inside, but you need to take some positive options. And, you know, I'll tell a story about, you know, the way I won a game defending, but that is not the way to win a game. That was a one-off and shouldn't be the way you go out to bat. You need to be out there taking some aggressive, positive decisions. Fearless, again, you know, it's the same thing, really. As soon as they see that you're unsure or you're worried, you're backing away from the ball, they're going to take advantage. And if you obviously don't like a particular bowler, then, you know, an astute captain will see that, and they'll make sure that you're facing that bowler all the time until that bowler's overs are used up. So really important, no matter how scared you feel, you know, you go out there and you look confident and fearless, and smart, play to your strengths. If you aren't confident playing a particular shot, don't play it. I saw a guy in a final once, my son's team, trying out a ramp shot for the first time in a final. Now, if I was the coach, I'd been absolutely livid. He'd not played it before. Why are you playing that shot? I know Mike doesn't particularly like sweeping. There's shots that I won't play because my eyesight's so bad. I don't want to play them. I don't feel I can see the ball. Don't play those shots. Play the ones that you can really.
Just on that, girls. Basically, what we're saying is you need to practice what you preach.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we get told all the time at the top level. If you go out in a game in the summer and we haven't seen you play a reverse sweep all winter, and you suddenly go out and play a reverse sweep in the game, we're going to be coming on the pitch and being like, what are you doing? Okay, because if you haven't practiced it, why are you suddenly bringing it out in a game? If you practice it over the winter and you play it and it goes wrong, fine, that happens. Okay, you come off the pitch, you hold your head up, you go, I tried something, I practiced it, it didn't come off today, but that's okay. If you go on and play it and you haven't practiced it, you need to be answering our questions, okay? Because you have to practice what you want to do in a game. A game isn't a magic thing that you can go out and suddenly shots will come off that you've never tried before just because you think it's the right option, okay? You need to be playing the shots that you have practiced, because the shot might come off once and that's great, but if you're going to be playing these shots consistently, you need to be practicing them, okay? So just bear that in mind.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, brilliant. No, really good advice there, and something to just think about really. As I said, we're never going to have a go or shout, or no coach with if their salt's going to do that. But we would ask you questions to say, well, hang on, what's your thinking there? Why was that? Why did you decide to do that? So it's all a learning curve, a lot of these things. But as both Emma and P have said, is that practice is practice. The old phrase "practice makes perfect" is it's an old saying, but it's very much true. If you haven't practiced something, it's very difficult to put it into kind of action really. Length and pitch. So we've touched upon this, and I talked about sort of shot selection and thinking about length and where to play. This is just a little bit of a diagram which I thought might be useful for you to start thinking about and actually getting understanding of what shot you play to what ball. We've not had an opportunity to work with you girls yet over the winter, so again, it's just getting you to think that there's some colours there on the screen of various shots you would play, from front foot drive, off drive, pull shot, on drive, sweep, etc. So it just gives you a bit of an idea of some of the shots you play, and equally the different lengths as a bowler. So as you can see, full toss, where the dark sort of browny colour is, if you imagine where you're standing, that's going to be a full toss area. Around the light green sort of yellowy type mark there, again, it's going to be a nice area for your front foot drive. Your good area in green potentially is going to be might be a defensive shot. May well be, you might well leave it alone if it's outside off stump. And then the short balls, again, your back foot shots, your pulls, hooks, etc., back foot drives. But I just want to bring you back on this period, and I decided not to answer it on the last bit really, but around visualization. And I think it's something, girls, you would have probably heard, but probably are not too sure what visualization means. But I guess, P, how much is it talked about with you? And is this something, and again, be honest, this isn't a trick question, but is this something you have done yourself with batting, or found useful, or is it not something you've particularly looked at?
Yeah, I think it's definitely something I've tried to do. I know there are some girls that maybe don't feel the need to do that. I think it depends on your mentality. I've kind of struggled on and off with batting in the past, so I found it quite helpful. But again, it might not be something that you find helpful, and that's fine. Everyone has different things that they need to do to be able to play well. It's kind of hard to describe what it means without using the word, one of those things. But I'm sure you can kind of take an educated guess at what visualization means. Kind of imagining So sometimes you can go out to the wicket before the game and you can stand in your stance and just think about, kind of look at the pitch and imagine, you can kind of use these areas if you want, but imagine these areas on the pitch and imagine different bowlers bowling there. So say you got a seamer running up, a right arm seamer, and they pitch the ball there, what shot am I going to play, and just kind of practice that shot. And what if it's the left arm seamer and it's coming across me, what am I going to do then? Maybe leave it a bit more. A spinner, an off spinner, okay, it's coming into me, so maybe I can sweep a bit, and just kind of have those thoughts in your head. It doesn't have to be massively elaborate, but just start thinking about that before you go out, because your brain's quite amazing, I'm sure you all know. So it can unconsciously think about that when you're out in the middle. So if you've practiced it before and your brain's seen the pitch before and it's seen the surroundings, it's seen that, oh, that's the sight screen that we have today, and okay, there's a hill over there, and it's kind of seen that picture, it can help you in these situations. If you've got a particularly fast bowler running up and you have less time to react, if your brain's already kind of seen that and it's seen the shots you're going to play to particular balls, then it makes it a lot easier for you to react quickly and play the right shot. So I mean, it's something that's helped me. Give it a try. I'd always suggest trying everything, but if it doesn't work, then don't do it. If it's really helpful, then do it. I know a lot of people prefer not to think at all before they go out to bat because it freaks them out, or they prefer just reacting in the moment, which is fine, but I'd at least try it. Give it a try.
Okay, that's some really useful there. And I think it's to say something to think about, girls, and don't be frightened to ask when we do meet up over Easter. Please do come and chat more to us about it if it's something you don't quite understand or want any more thoughts around. But it can help, and I certainly find it useful sometimes before the game when you go out and you have a look at the wicket, just to have a stand there and think, okay, well, yeah, if the bowler bowls in this area here, brilliant, I can attack and play a forward drive. In this sort of area, actually, I'm going to look to play on the back foot. So you just start to get a feel for what shots you might play to what ball, and it can help. As I say, some people prefer, as P said, not to do that at all, but do come and talk to us about it, really. I'm going to pause a little bit because we've covered a lot of information there, girls, and as I said, this is why, as I said, some of you will write it down. Everyone learns in different ways. Some of you will write things down. Some of you will just listen and will take bits of it on board. I don't expect you to take everything on board because there's a lot of information, but hopefully it just starts to help to get you to think a little bit about it, really. Are there any questions from anyone which they want to ask at this stage? And this is no issue if you don't. I just thought I would throw it out there, and if you have any questions, please do shout now. Cool. Okay, no problem. As I say, please do talk to us when we have the sessions coming up over Easter. Do talk to your coaches. Do talk. We are there. We want to help, and we know batting can be scary for a lot of people. You get one chance a lot of times, and you're out. That's your game over, and it can be quite mentally difficult at times, particularly when you're going through a bit of a struggling period in your game. So again, it's just everything you can do to help yourself, and we can do to help you the best, really. Here is again, we showed Sarah Taylor, I think, on our fielding drill, on our fielding masterclass we did, and around or our wicket keeping session last time, I think it was, actually, and saw her keeping. Here's just a short video about some front foot tips from her. Now, I'll have to talk you through. She does say it on the screen. You can't hear the sound, but it does come up in writing to say the 3 key points. So I'm just going to play the video, and you can then get a bit of an idea of what she means. And I'll try and sum it up afterwards as well. But just have a watch of this. They're talking about full length delivery there. stepping forwards to the ball. Stable base, head over the ball. And then step 3, hands through the line of the ball. So again, all the things we talked about earlier on. So there you go, play the shot to full length delivery, stable base, head over the ball, and then send your hands through the line of the ball in a straight line. So, as I say, appreciate you can hear that on here at the moment, but that was essentially the 3 key things really that she talked about, and just keeping it simple, trying to make it as easy as possible for yourselves, because batting is can be difficult at times. Going to play this one as well. This is similar. This is on back foot play, and again, this just looks at some key tips on playing off the back foot. Again, without the sound on, but again, you'll be able to see, and I'll cover a few things as we go through on this. So this is Cricket Victoria. It's the academy coach and one of the players who's played for the Australia men's side. Just look where the back foot goes each time, off the back foot to that off stump. You can see in the writing there, the key things. Your decision making, attacking or defending the ball. The various shots you can play off the back foot. So some different thoughts there. Again, just simple things around playing off the back foot. So just for you to think about more than anything else. Again, it can be something we struggle with, or some people struggle with the back foot. We do a lot of work on the front foot. A lot of coaches do. The back foot is something, is not easy. And the pitches we play on, equally, some of them are quite, depending what time of the year you're playing on, can be quite slow and low. So that does kind of really affect what shot we may well play. But there are certainly some key things there. And as I said, the back foot, as you saw in those clips, with all of those shots really was going back towards that off stump. And we've talked about a lot of the points on there about, watching the ball in a nice balanced position, weight forwards. So again, just get hopefully a few things there to help you as you think about your batting and what shots you may well play. And finally, just some tips around to help you girls really with your batting. Some real, again, try to sum up some of the things we talked about. So again, we talked a lot about this: head still and watch the ball. A lot of people say, oh, well, that's obvious. Yeah, of course you've got to watch the ball, but honestly, be amazed, and I can tell you this happens in adults cricket as well as kind of junior cricket as well. You think you watch the ball, but I can tell you a lot of the times when you've got bowled or you've missed the ball, it's amazing how do you actually watch the ball all the way onto the bat, and I can bet that is not the case. A lot of the time we're not watching the ball onto the bat. We're watching the ball come out of the hand. We're watching it, and as we go to make contact, our heads either lifts up or we take our eyes off the ball because you're playing it based on the line and the position you've got yourself into. So it's a real important one. That head still, watch the ball onto the bat. That is the most important thing. Once you've made contact with the bat, brilliant, absolutely. Then you can look where the ball's gone. But so often people look up before they make contact with the ball to see where the ball's gone, and they either miss it or they hit the ball in the air, or they don't make a clean contact with it. So real, again, try and do, when you're in the nets next, girls, just try and see if you can watch the ball right the way onto the bat. Really train yourself to watch it hit the bat.
Just butt in quickly, sorry Mike.
Just carry
really
on.
Quick, girls. We actually did quite a funny drill, the Vipers, over the winter, where we were kind of looking at this first point, and we got the coaches to throw at us, and it was quite funny actually. All the batters, every single one, whether they open the batting or they bat 11, couldn't 100% say every ball where it had pitched. So you think you're watching the ball and you're convinced, you say, yeah, that pitch there, and the coach will come down and say, actually no, it was like 2 foot shorter than you actually thought it was. So you think you know where the ball's going, but actually when you try and commit to that and say it definitely pitched there, you kind of realise actually you're not watching the ball at all, because the coach then comes down and says, actually no, you're completely wrong, okay, it pitched here. And every batter went through that, okay, no batter got it 100% right every time. So just an example of that, even at the top level, sometimes you think you're watching the ball, but actually you're really not, okay? So don't take that one lightly, because it is really important, and you can maybe try that with your parents at home, get them to throw the ball at you and then tell you actually where it pitched, and you might be surprised at the difference of where you think it was and where it actually pitched, okay?
Brilliant. Thanks, Pete. That's really interesting to see again a high level that even this is still something which we don't, just an example that we don't always watch the ball onto the bat or where the ball's actually landed. So there we go, real good example of that. So, and then the other points there, I will zoom through this fairly quickly. I'm conscious of time, been on there for a fair amount, but being positive, looking to score runs. I can bet if I ask each of you girls what your thoughts are when you're going out to bat, there will be some of you which would tell me, I would just don't want to get out, and that is a frame mind. A lot of people, I don't want to get out, so I'm just going to stay there. But if we don't score runs, girls, you're not going to win the game. So it's being positive and thinking, how can I score runs? Whether it's just pushing the ball in the gap and running, so you're just running singles, or whether, if you're hitting boundaries, great. But again, being positive, looking to score runs, looking at the gaps in the field.
You're statistically likely to get out at some point that innings, okay? Very few batters carry their bat. So statistically, you're probably going to get out at some point, okay? So you might as well score runs while you're there, okay? Brilliant. Just try and think of it like that, maybe.
Oh, great, thanks. Really useful way of looking at it. So set small targets. P mentioned earlier on, and we talked about setting our small targets. So again, you're batting in a pair, as P said. You're batting together. It's a lonely place out in the middle when you've got 11 opposition players around you. Talk to one another. Set small targets. Those that have played in our, with Emma and P under 11s and with me and under 13s will know I talk a lot about 5 overs. Set yourself, what are you going to score in 5 overs? Okay, and looking to a plan. If you've not got a plan, then how are you going to achieve something? So you need to have a plan. Right, do you know what? Right, we're going to score 15 runs off these 5 overs, and 3 runs and over. If you don't hit the target, well, so what? Okay, but if you've got something to work towards, you can have a chat at the end of each over, as P said, rather than just saying, well, hi, how are you? Of course, nice day today, isn't it? You're actually saying, well, right, we've got 3 overs down, we scored 6 runs. Okay, well, our target was 15. Okay, well, right, how are we going to get as close to that as possible? Do you know, off this bowler, I've noticed actually the field is quite deep on the offside. Shall we just try and see if we can push on the offside and run some singles? So you're thinking about the game and you're thinking about the situation and setting yourself your little targets. So don't be frightened to think about that. That will help you break it down into small chunk size bits rather than, 40 overs, we need to score X amount of runs. Well, that's very difficult to kind of get your head around. So try and break it into small things as you go along. play to your strengths. Again, I think we've talked about this a lot. Again, he mentioned around, you know, playing to your strengths. What's your favourite shot? You know, if I said, okay, for me, where do I want the bowler to bowl? I would love them to bowl me. You know, I love driving the ball off the front foot. I'd love to drive the ball off the off, you know, off drive. So that's my strength. I know what shots. As Emma says, do I like sweeping the ball? Not particularly. No, that's not one of my shots. Do I like pulling the ball? No. So I tend to play of my strengths. I might play more around the back foot defence and back foot drive, forcing off the back foot rather than playing a pull shot, because it gets me out. You know, I get caught and I don't feel in control of it. So what are your strengths? Comes down to our batting analysis at the end. We'll touch upon what are your strengths and play to them. Don't try and do all these things you've not practiced before, as we spoke about earlier. Play to your strengths. And the last 2 bits, keep it simple and stay calm. Again, you will have times where you won't score a run. I had a season like that last year where I couldn't buy a run, and you start then trying to tweak around with your technique and you're doing different things. Keep it simple, you know, keep it simple. Watch the ball, get bat on ball, just look to try and rotate the strike and maybe just try and get some singles. Bat on ball, just concentrate on just watching it onto the bats and just trying to keep it nice and simple, and stay calm. So it's a long time batting out there in the middle. Have breaks between balls, you know, step away, deep breath, go back in, face the next ball, end of the over, have a chat to your partner who's maybe might be struggling, give them some advice. But don't worry about that, we're doing really well. So just trying to stay calm all the time, really, on that. Just quickly, Emma, anything from you on this at all? Any extra not covered? Or
Yeah, we play cricket because we enjoy it. So
yeah,
we're giving you loads and loads and loads of information, ladies. But at the end of the day, if you are not enjoying your cricket or your batting, then there's something wrong. And you need to chat to us. That's what we're here for. But, you know, yes, there's lots of information here. Yes, we expect you to put some of it into practice, but also enjoy it. Yeah, go out and enjoy batting. So many times I see girls, you know, say who wants to open the batting, and nobody puts their hand up. In fact, everybody wants to bat at 11. That's not the way to be playing cricket. You know, you're going to bat. If you're playing cricket in a team, you will bat at some stage. So enjoy it.
brilliant. No, great bit of advice. Great bit of advice, Emma. And probably one of the most important bits on there, which I haven't put in there. But yeah, enjoy it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right, just the last few little drills now. Drills you can do at home. Again, I'll play it, and hopefully it's fairly self-explanatory without the sound, but I will try and talk you through it anyway. So this is a drill from my cricket coach, which a guy, a New Zealand coach, you know, really good website. And this is a batting drill. As you can see, he's taken out the middle stump. He's lined his feet up with leg stump. His foot goes to leg stump as he points towards. Okay. And his head, where his head goes to, head is over middle stump. And he just practices bringing the bat down in a straight line. So we talk about our bat path coming down. You mentioned that, girls, about our bat coming down straight to help with power and clean contact. This is a really important drill and something you can do. If you've got a set of plastic stumps, brilliant. If you haven't, girls, improvise. That, you know, whether you can have a wall and I don't know, you maybe have a post or something, or something you can use as a to create a little pathway, little gates, so you can practice your bat coming through. So he's just doing some top hand work there with his bat coming through. He's using his top hands, looking his bat, so his body, his shoulder, and it's just coming down in a straight line. So he's just doing that, and you can do. The more you do that, girls, it gets you into good habits. Really does. Really good drill to do. Those again who've been with us under 13s in the past, this is a drill we've done before. It's not easy. He's made that look very easy, but I can assure you that is difficult. To make sure your bat doesn't demolish the stumps or clip them, it's not easy. But something, again, doesn't matter what level of cricketer you are, you get into bad habits, and I can assure this will be a really useful thing to do. If you're bored and think, do you know what am I going to do? Go and do some of these stuff in the back garden, girls. Why, well, you know, why not? Well, the weather's getting better. Just get yourself into good habits. So really good drill there from my cricket coach. Another drill here, just dropping the ball. Look at that, off his shoulder. It's between his ear and his shoulder, onto the ground, and he's just playing a front foot drive. So just hitting balls, girls. So if you're on your own, people say, how can I bat on my own if I've got no one with me? Well, just hitting balls, girls, something like that, it really does help. The more you can hit balls, the better, really. You know, if you did that, I don't know, 15, 20 times a day, believe me, it would make a huge difference before you get outside. You know, we've missed January, February, March. We missed 3 months of cricket we'd normally have. So again, the more you can do it, it certainly does no harm. So that is a really good, simple drill you can do at home. Here's another one. You can see hitting off a cup. Looks like, I don't know, a Costa coffee cup or something like that. I don't know, but one of those cardboard cups. Again, improvise, girls. You don't have to have a batting tee to be able to do this. You know, there's all sorts of things. Create yourself a little tee to hit the ball off. So this one, he's got a green bin in the background, and I'll just play the video now. All he's doing is hitting the ball off the cone. He's trying to avoid the green bin, which is the fielder. Okay, so simple drill again. The field, you know, the green bin, that could be the bowl or the stumps, trying to hit either side of that. He's doing another drill now with a sweep shot, again, hitting off a tee, but again, avoiding that fielder. So a simple drill, girls, not, you know, again, depending what space you've got available. Hopefully there will be, you know, some of you will be able to do that, you know, but again, hopefully that's something, you don't need a massive bit of space. You can just practice the technique of doing it. So it really does help. So again, have a go at that. It really nice, simple, easy drill to be able to do. And below that, I've just really included lots of different drills there, which you can go and have a look at. We'll send a PDF out as well. So this is obviously the recording. You'll be able to see these drills on the recording. And there's obviously these drills here. You can click up the link and go through and have a look. So all sorts of judging length, line, you know, improving your balance, you know, the backswing drill there. I think that's a link to the My Cricket Coach drill. So there's all sorts of things here. There's some drills there which I know were sent through from County early on checking your batting technique. There's some, so again, shadow rehearsals. And then those that don't know what a shadow rehearsal is, it's literally just standing in your stance with your bat and just practice playing different types of shots off the front foot, off the back foot, and just getting the feel for your bat coming down in a straight line and all in a sync sort of movement, really. So again, shadow rehearsals, simple things you can do as long as you're away from, you know, your mum's best, you know, china or whatever. You know, if you're gonna just make sure you're not doing anything which is gonna any ornaments on the fireplace. Do make sure you're not anywhere near that. Make sure you've got the space to be able to do it. But in the garden, hopefully you'll be able to do that in a safe way throughout, really. And then some masterclass videos there for you as well, which Sky have produced. They're all free. You can use them. Don't need to have Sky to be able to watch it. You can click on it on your computer and watch some of the masterclasses on some of these things. So those of you, again, some will learn differently. Others, some won't, you know, necessarily want to, you know, to watch the videos and will find it, you know, might not find it as useful as others. But again, everyone's different. And if that works for you, you know, have a watch, have a look, and see how they kind of some tips that they give you and how they do it, because it really is kind of useful to look at what other people do. I think we're nearly there, but last bit again is self-analyse. Again, we've not had a winter of club or county or RBC or whatever, wherever you are. We've not had any opportunities to do that, girls. So again, do have a look at this. You might, you know, some of these points, because we've not been able to practice it, you may not know, but if you have a go at doing it, it's for your benefit really, so you can think, do you know what, okay, this is the area I'm weak at, or actually, do you know, I really need some advice on this area. So when we've got the sessions coming up over Easter, I'm going to ask Mike, I'm going to ask Emma, I'm going to ask P, oh, actually, what, you know, this is, I'm really struggling on this. I don't quite, not quite sure how to do that. Please do talk to us. There's, you know, we can't help you. It's a two-way thing. We'll try and help you, but there may be things we don't cover which you need help with. And all I would say to you girls is just please don't be frightened to ask, because we are here to help you, and we want to help you improve. And the winter we've had has not been ideal, and we just want to make sure that you get as much out of it as possible for the summer coming. So just some simple things for that, for you to mark yourself up against, really. And that is pretty much it. Again, Emma P, anything, we mentioned a lot of information there, but is there anything you think, anything else to mention, or do you think we pretty much covered it?
I think you've pretty much covered everything. I'll just say don't be afraid of the basics. I watched Danny Wyatt warm up when she played a club game with us in Australia, and her warm up is basically underarm feeds and just hitting underarm feeds, and that's all she does, and then she goes out and bats. So you don't need to be afraid of doing the basics, because that's still something that the top players do, and sometimes that's all that they do to prepare for batting in a game. So and yeah, just if you're not confident with your batting, I've definitely been there. It's something that I've struggled with. So just, I know we say don't be afraid, but that's a lot easier said than done. And I know that. So if any of you need to talk about that, I'm here to talk to you about it. Don't be afraid to come and ask questions. And yeah, like I said earlier, faking confidence is the best weapon in your armory for that. Okay, so I got told that by Susie Bates when she came over and played for Hampshire. Sorry, I'm not meaning to like name drop so much, but just thought it might be helpful. And yeah, she basically just said call as loud as you can, because that's what she does when she doesn't feel confident. She screams yes, no, or waiting, because that's how she imposes herself on the game. So if you're not confident and you're kind of calling like yes, no, don't do that. Just scream it as loud as you can, and just be like, I'm here, I'm gonna bat. And if you call as loud as you can, that kind of feeds back into your confidence, and it kind of lifts you up as well. So just little things like that might help. Yeah, other than that, I think that's everything.
Yeah, for me, you know, Mike said it already, practice, practice, practice. You don't need a bowling machine and a net and a hard ball, ladies. You know, you can practice, as P's just said with Danny Wyatt, you know, just repetitive. The more balls you hit, the more confident you'll feel when you get out there. And they may just be tennis balls because you haven't got a big enough garden, or you may not even have a garden, and you've got to go and do it out, you know, in the side of the house or somewhere else. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you're getting out and you're hitting balls. So don't feel that you're disadvantaged in any way just because you haven't got a bowling machine and a net in the garden. You can play and you can practice at home, and the more you do now, the better it will be when you come to training with us.
Brilliant. Thanks, ladies. Really appreciate that. Really good bit of advice there, definitely. Before anyone picks up, I can see straight away I've got a spelling mistake in there. I've obviously doing things quickly. Yeah. So ignore that.
Oh yeah, peeling.
Yeah, there we go. So no idea what I was what I did there. So there we go. But getting ready for cricket, girls. Again, just to finish off, really. Look, you know, we are going to be, you know, all being well, as we get into April, at last, I think we're all desperate to get outside and get back into cricket. So we are going to be out there. Now, you just need to get yourself ready, really. And what I mean by that is simple things. You know, if you've not got your bat out the cupboard, wherever you keep your cricket gear, get it out. You know, make sure it is all tidy and there's nothing, stickers peeling off, or the bat face plastic cover, there's no bits coming off, flaking off the side or sticking up. Cut them off, make sure it's nice and tidy. You know, I've seen it before where someone's been given out caught behind because it has literally hit a peeling off bit of their bat face. It's been coming off the side and it's flicked that, and they've been given out. Now, you know, if that was cut off, it wouldn't have hit it and they wouldn't have been out. But because it was because they hadn't done that, you know, that they were out as a result of it. So just an example, you know, have a look at your bat and just think, okay, well, do you know what? Oh, I need a new grip on my bat. Actually, my grip's falling apart. Because if you can't hold your bat and your grip's in pieces and there's holes in it, or it's really thin and it's sliding out your hands, again, you're not gonna perform as good as you can. So make sure that's you get your bat out and have a look at it. You know, ensure your kit bag is everything in there, and you've not, you know, taken bits out. You might have taken stuff out to practice in the garden, and you've not put it back in there. So the first training session, and you're missing your gloves or whatever, you know. So again, just, you know, make sure you check your stuff, girls. Don't blame it on your parents. I know somebody, well, Mum, Dad, where's my? Well, you know, it's not their, you know, not their fault. You know, it's your gear, your equipment. So, you know, I'm trying to support the parents out there who I'm sure P, you probably said something in the past of, you know, said to your mum, well, Mum, where's my jumper? Where's
No.
yeah. You know, it's just making sure you're you know, you're taking ownership of your own stuff, really. And then spikes, check your spikes. Those of you that do wear spikes, some of you might not. Ensure that your spikes are all there. You know, you get to the first session, you get your boots out your bag, your spikes. Oh, I've got a spike missing. So again, just simple things, girls. You know, so we can start to think about it and get excited about it, but make sure you've got everything there. You know, your kit, your jumper, sunglasses, cap. Let's hope we're gonna have a scorching, gorgeous summer. You know, again, just little simple things, girls. Get yourself ready for cricket.